So Axis Deer finally got their true Axe a couple of days ago, and I thought it was time that we do a guide for them and just talk about general locations to hunt them, times to hunt them, weapons to hunt them with, and hopefully that can help you guys out with finding some trophy Axis Deer. Now, I say trophy and not diamond because, at least at the time I'm making this video, diamond Axis Deer are way too common. They are spawning just all over the place, and you'll see a couple in this video, but if you're watching this later on down the road, they're probably going to be less common, and hopefully you're just specifically going for diamonds and maybe not kind of rare diamonds like a lot of people are going for right now since they're so common. But anyway, we're going to start with locations because I think that's the most important to just kind of see where Axis Deer kind of spend most of their time on Parque Fernando. And I made this little map. I made a map actually recently for the Legacy Axis Deer, and I changed this one a bit because just my experience with hunting true Axis Deer, they are a little bit different than where they were for the Legacies, but it's largely the same. So the green circles are pretty much where I find the most of them. Yellow is kind of like maybe a herd, and then red is often just like a single Axis Deer drinking by itself, and these are all drink stones. As usual, I always recommend the drink stones. They're just the easiest areas to find them. Like any species, other than ones that really only drink at night, I try to hunt drink stones because they're the most predictable. I mean, you can look somewhere on the map and just know roughly where drink stones are going to be. It's going to be near the water. They're the most visible. I mean, generally, the terrain is the most open around water, so you can kind of spot them a bit more easily. And just in general, I find that to be the best time to hunt most animals in the game, and Axis Deer are certainly no exception. So their drink time is 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. I generally hunt 5 to 8. I really don't like night hunting. I feel like you can miss too much, so I start at 5 when daylight kind of begins, and I'll hunt till 8, and then generally just kind of reset the time if I want to continue. But yeah, all those locations are pretty good, and I want to focus on kind of 4 main locations in this video because I think we'd be here forever if I try to like focus in on every single location. But if we can kind of just go on these 4 main ones where I've had the most luck, where I've seen the most Axis Deer, I think that's going to be the most beneficial. Now, these spots won't be in any particular order. I just wanted to start in the southeast because it's where I start most of my Parque Fernando hunts, not just for Axis Deer. And what I did was I zoomed in on the map and I tried to highlight the areas where I consistently see Axis Deer drinking. And I've never really done a guide like this before, so let me know if you guys like this or dislike it in the comments below. But basically, these are the areas where I consistently see Axis Deer drinking, and especially since True Axe came out, I've been getting a ton of diamonds down at this lake. And it's really nice because you can kind of run across this lake and spook a bunch of animals like out in front of you, but you can also kind of sneak in and spot them and take them as we did here with this level 5, and also a pretty good size 4 that I thought might have been a diamond, but no such luck on getting a level 4 diamond just yet. That would be the rarest thing you could get right now, being that level 5s are so common. But yeah, this is one of my favorite spots. I probably wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's where I start most of my hunts because almost every species on the map will visit this lake at some point. So before we continue with locations, now that we've taken a couple of Axis Deer in this video, I wanted to talk about the weapon that we used there and what we're going to continue to use for the rest of the video, and that is the Mosin, or as it's better known as in the game, the Silicon MN1890. It is by far the best weapon for Class 3 animals. It's extremely powerful, it's very accurate, 300 meters plus is not even an issue with it, and really there just is no better option. Now, it's in the Weapon Pack 2 DLC if you want to get it, or if you maybe already have it. But if you don't, the 243 will get the job done, even the 223 will, the 3030 as well. Like, there's a bunch of options. But if you want the absolute best, the Mosin is it, hands down. So, with weapons out of the way, we're going to continue with locations, and we're going to stay down here in the south and go to this little lake in south central Parque Fernando. And I think since Axis Deer got their true Axe, there's actually more Axis Deer hanging out in this area, but it's always been good for them. And once again, I've just kind of zoomed in on the map and showed where I consistently see them drinking, and it actually happens to be the area where I found the second level 5 of this video. And we just talked about the Mosin and its accuracy. This is a 300 meter shot, and I didn't even hesitate to take that. Like, it's that accurate, it's that reliable. If you want to go back to the weapon and talk about that for a moment, I don't know how else I can kind of dictate that it's that good and that I trust it for pretty much anything on these Class 3 animals. But yeah, this spot's been good. It's a spot that I keep going back to more and more, and kind of like the first lake, almost every species on this map actually goes to it, other than a water buffalo. I mean, there's puma, mule deer, black buck, red deer, Axis Deer, the cinnamon teal are obviously here. It's a really, really good spot for pretty much everything, but especially since these guys got true Axe, Axis Deer have been here a lot for me. And I think speaking of areas that are kind of new for me to really visit and hunt for Axis Deer, we're going to go up here into the northwest to this lake that's got a lodge right on it, which makes it really easy to check if you're hunting multiplayer, or even if you just want to go check it out in single player. you can pretty much see any of the axis deer from the lodge. There's this one spot that I check consistently. I could be missing areas on this lake, but I do go here and try to look around, and I haven't had any axis deer on my map in these other areas. But down on this end, there have been so many. This is the area actually where we killed the 2 axis deer out of the same herd, or the 2 diamond axis deer out of the same herd in yesterday's video. And I've seen probably 4 or 5 more level 5s in multiplayer. It's just been a really good spot. And again, the 5s are broken, but what's important is the amount of axis deer that are here, because you can see this is probably more than 1 herd. I think 2 herds are using this drink zone because there are just so many deer here. But again, it's a spot that definitely has a bunch of them, definitely worth checking out, and it takes like maybe 30 seconds because that lodge is right there. And finally, for these 4 spots, what I believe is my favorite up here in Bosque Muerto, this lake, it's just always been good for axis deer, and again, it's been good for pretty much everything on this map, other than water buffalo once again. But these 3 areas are where I consistently see axis deer drinking. I think you can get 4 zones, but 2 tend to be pretty much side by side. And this spot actually, during the release day live stream of Truac axis deer, we killed 3 diamonds, all in the same zone. And again, the diamonds are broken, but the important part is the amount of axis deer that are here, and there are a lot. When there's this many zones, naturally there's going to be, and it's always been good for me, even before the Truacs. I think this is the lake that I killed the most legacy diamond axis deer as well, so it's definitely been a good spot. And yeah, a spot once again where there's an outpost right there, you can fast travel to it, and you can check it within a couple of minutes. So those are my 4 favorite spots on Parque Fernando for axis deer. And again, if you want to check other spots, if you've checked all those, that map is there. You guys can go check out the other spots. I kind of just have them color-coded based on the amount of axis deer I would expect to see there if I went to like any random multiplayer server, but you never know, and that's why I think it's important to actually check them, because some spots may not have a lot of axis deer, but they might have the one you're actually after in a diamond or a rare or whatever you're particularly chasing for the axis deer. So yeah, I would definitely recommend checking them all out, even if you're just kind of going around exploring. It's a good thing to see what you saw these different lakes. So yeah, I think axis deer are an interesting species to do a guide on because they do inhabit so much of Parque Fernando. It makes it kind of difficult to really like focus on every spot where I see a bunch of them, because I think it would take forever. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it this way, where we focus on like 4 of my favorite spots. And again, let me know what you guys think of this kind of format, because we might use it for future guides. But that is pretty much going to do it. Axis deer are, like I said, pretty all over. There's some spots that you can definitely find a lot of them, and right now you can definitely find a lot of diamonds. There are level 5s just around every corner. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video, so thank you guys for watching. Best of luck on your axis deer hunts, and I'll see you next time.